Okay, go ahead.
Okay, hi, I'm Kevin with Westford Inspection Group. I did the home inspection here. During a walkthrough, typically I'll go over bigger items, medium-sized items, health safety items, main components of the house. Smaller items, regular maintenance items, I leave most of those for the report because they're there on every house. As we go through, after you go through the video, I send out the report. After you go through the report, if you have any questions or concerns, you can call, email, or text me. And Arslan has all my information. So, around the outside, I'll have recommendations about regular maintenance items, such as painting around the exterior. You can see deteriorated paint, especially around any of the wood surfaces, because if they're which can rot it out sooner rather than later. So, always a good maintenance item. Keep up with the painting. There were a handful of missing or damaged or torn window screens, so I'll have all those locations noted in the report. Let's see, other side, around here. The termite inspector has come and gone, and he'll have his report and everything labeled in there. I did have some dry rot to the garage door jamb down there. That'll be on the termite inspector's report. He didn't have any termite evidence though. A loose gutter, or loose downspout here. A little bit supported by the brick. There is a bit of a crack, smaller crack here that we'll recommend be sealed up to make sure moisture can't get in. Obviously, some degradation and loosening up to some of the fence boards and posts. So I'll have a bunch of pictures of that. Some loose posts going down, and then the back rear fence line probably needs the most work as far as loose sections and general deterioration. The gas meter and the gas shutoff valve down here, shutting it off is giving it a quarter turn till the two holes line up. There's been some plumbing added here for the laundry, it looks like. That was added in for the waste standpipe. So we always make note of renovations, repairs, checking for permits that may or may not be needed to be pulled when work is done. So we make note of all that stuff for the house as well, and you'll find that in the report. A handful of single pane windows. Most are the other, about half are dual pane, half are single pane. So we'll make note about recommendations for upgrading single pane windows. Right here. Now, there probably was a pipe going up and out through the wall. That's a plumbing vent. There probably was one going up past the roof at one point. They may have had to replace this section of fascia. That's my guess as to why that pipe's removed now. Ideally, that pipe should extend up above the roof because that vents sewer gases, and ideally it should be discharging above the roof so it doesn't. It discharges better, it's going to vent better, and doesn't sit on the side of the house, which it could sometimes. Watch your step, Arslan.
Okay. Oh man, it is a little tight, huh?
Yeah. Especially if you're holding the phone.
Yeah, let me,
You gotta know where it's gonna be time.
okay, got it, cleared it.
Okay, so electrical panel back here. I'll have a handful of recommendations for it, but primary, most important one I'd say would be that's an older panel manufactured by Zinsco Sylvania. Zinsco panels are really common in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s here if the house is built in that time frame. So not uncommon to see it. The panels, some of the panels had a history of issues in the past, issues that could lead to house fires. It's hard to get all the exact information on this because the companies themselves have been, the company themselves have gone out of business at this point. But they made a wide range of panels. Some of the panels had issues, but because of that, they kind of all got the Zinsco reputation. But it is an older panel, so we do recommend additional review by an electrician as a safety upgrade, upgrading the panel in time. But I didn't see any immediate health safety issues inside the panel, which is good. There's some missing screws. The cover could be better connected. That, and then the service mast above, you can see it's a skew here. There's no other attachments for it to attach it to the house. So right now it's the service drop is putting a load on the service mast and pulling it out a bit. Not causing any major issues at the roof, but we would recommend have it better secured. Typically you would have a service mast, a strap that attaches to the wall just to better secure it. And that way it can't move, it can't loosen up this electrical panel or cause any issues like that. So moving on, the main water shutoff for the house should be this handle down here, this valve. There is a leak at the irrigation valves down there. But it looks like copper supplied plumbing going into the house. I did have galvanized supply plumbing at, I saw it at the water heater, and I saw it at one of the toilet. So there's a mix of copper and galvanized, and we'll have a recommendation about galvanized plumbing because it has a 40 to 60 year lifespan, and it rusts from inside out, so you don't always get a good indication just from the visual portions you can see. But one thing, easier way to figure out if it's near the end of its lifespan, you start to see rust in the water, or you get a decreased flow of water because the rust buildup constricted the interior of the pipe. So things to watch out for. We'll have that noted in the report as well, and not uncommon for this age of house.
Did you see any rust when you opened the faucets?
No,
or shower?
yeah, nothing. Yeah,
okay.
Nothing at all. Ran clear. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. A little bit of stucco damage here to the base, which we recommend patching up. There have been some locations around the outside where it looks like they've had some probably roof leakage before. You can see a spot here at the eave where there's been some staining. It correlates, and the other spots like that I saw at the outside correlates with sealant, newer sealant compared to the rest of the roof being applied at these areas at the roof edge. So it looks like they've had some issues before. The sealant right now that they had applied is pretty deteriorated, so we do recommend a roofer to repair those. There's rest of the roof is mostly maintenance items that I've got. Deteriorated sealant, exposed nail heads, a lot of stuff that's more maintenance items for the roof, but more important items because they are on the roof and they protect against leaks and protect against moisture intrusion. So I'll have a write-up and a bunch of pictures of the roof. The HVAC package system is up there. That is 20 years old, I believe. I'll double check the number and have the exact one in the report. Heating and cooling are both functioning. It's a heat pump system, so it's just electric, no gas going to the unit. And that's it for the roof. Rest of the items back here. Some of the windows, I mean, they're not original to the house. Some of the windows, it's not installed as ideally as they would be. You get a lot of gaps that they've had to seal up for some of these windows. There were a couple of windows that are single hung, like that one itself, and there's another one that don't stay open when you lift them up. And I think because they're installed incorrectly, so I'll have a note about the installation, and when you replace windows, typically you have to pull permits for that. But as far as what I was seeing, as far as for the install, it just looks like this one should have been a slider. Same with the other one, more than likely, just because of the way it operates. And then I've also the weep holes here and there's one down here, but it's cocked over. The weep holes go at the base of the window, so that's another indication for me. But for me, the issues that I was seeing with the windows all have defects in the reports. There was one window that had a chip or a crack in it. The two windows that don't stay open. And maybe been a handful of other ones, the window screens and stuff as well. But those are the issues that I was seeing. I wasn't seeing that it's because they may not have been installed exactly the way they're supposed to, that there was any major ongoing issues. But I'll have a write-up and everything in the report on those and pictures. And then down here, there's some damage, some dry rot to the fascia board at the roof edge there. That will be on the termite inspector's report as well. Now, that's another spot where there's been some patching or resealing at the roof edge. On the inside of the bathroom and that front corner bedroom, there was some staining to the baseboard with some indications of active moisture present. Well, I'll point it out specifically once we get in there. But I just wanted to make note, it's this area. It may be correlated to the roof, but I'm not able to determine exactly why the water's gotten to that baseboard. It may be roof, probably less likely chance that it's the plumbing for the shower, because those are on the other interior and interior wall. But we'd recommend the baseboards be pulled off to check for any damage or issues, what's actually going on behind those. Like I said, it might be roof related, but it's hard to tell until you start pulling that baseboard off and checking conditions behind it. So I'll have a bunch of pictures of that as well. And I think we can go inside. Those are the garage.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, that made it trickier, that's for sure.
All right, going into the garage. Let's see. Oh, there's no permanent dryer vent, so that's something that we recommend installing right now. It looks like they open up the window, run the vent to the window screen. So we'd recommend a permanent dryer vent be put in. Other than that, here there is a little bit of fungus growth, rot to the sheathing there. I don't think that's, I believe for Chad, that's more of a treatment or a dig and fill, not like a full board replacement. And some more fungus growth here, surface fungus to be scraped and treated. So pretty easy fixes for that. Garage door open and closed fine. And inside.
Okay, I'll just lock this.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Kitchen, sink faucet's a little loose. And then, let's see, no garbage disposal, no dishwasher. Range hood was functioning. Range cooktop and broiler were functioning, but the oven wasn't functioning. The oven functioner for it wasn't heating up. So, and I tried it a couple of times, so I can't determine exactly what the cause of it is, but at least gas and other things are working. So it's just a matter of getting the whatever is wrong with the oven fixed. And then the water heater is in here. So water heater's leaking. You can see the water up at the top. It's a pretty old water heater, so it's time to replace it. There's other upgrades and things, accessories that aren't on this one that would be installed on a new one typically. So I'll have a note about those. And then I did see a little bit of white, almost fungus growth to the baseboards. So after the water heater comes out, some of those may need to be replaced or scraped and treated. So I'll have again write up about that as well. That's probably my biggest item that I've got would be the water heater.
How much would you estimate the water heater to be
Oh,
replaced?
sure. So it can be 15 to 2,000 bucks right about now, with inflation and everything. If you wanted to go in with a tankless, they're upwards of 4 to 5.
Okay, great.
Here, some of the outlets are ungrounded in the house. Some are grounded. So I'll know the locations that I could get to that were ungrounded, and then I'll have a write-in about there may be more outlets affected than I was readily able to test because of stored items, stuff like that. And just because it has 3 prongs doesn't mean it's fully grounded. So, and I'll have those locations in the report as well. We recommend upgrading the outlets that you're going to use for your heavy-duty electronics first, and then an electrician to upgrade the other ones as time and budget allow. Because that's you want them grounded to protect against power surge. Power surges and surge protectors don't work unless it's plugged into a grounded outlet. Else in here, not looking too bad. I'll have a lot of the door hardware, interior and some exterior door hardware, missing, loose, or in general needs improvement at a vast majority of the doors. So I'll have a bunch of pictures, but a lot of them, they range from like a loose hinge, missing screws at some of the hinges, loose hardware, strike plates, some strike plates missing, boilerplate stuff along those lines. So in general, a lot more maintenance and TLC on those items. Thermostat functioning, smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, all functioning. Smoke detectors in all the bedrooms are functioning. Nothing really to go over in here or this one, at least nothing else to go over. Bathroom, this is the baseboard, and I'll have pictures in the report as well, that was stained, a little swollen, and had some indications of active moisture present.
It's a good chance it is from the shower as well, right?
There's a potential, yeah. Less so because the plumbing's over there.
Yeah.
But if there was a leak, it could travel over to
Yeah, especially because there's no shower door; it's a shower curtain, right?
Yeah, and if it's water splashes out, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Most of that was fine. A little bit of normal maintenance items, touching up grout and caulking ceiling. The toilet secure. They had to caulk it pretty well at the base. So they may have had a leak before at the toilet, but it could also be because the bolts on either side, the flange bolts, are they don't stick up very far. They may not be providing that much actual security as far as fastening the toilet down, so that could be why the heavy sealant is there. So I'll have a note about that, a recommendation, but right now the toilet's not loose. I'm not getting any leaks, so right now it is functioning. And then the other bedroom here. And then this baseboard as well is staining, swollen, active moisture there. So again, another baseboard to pull off, check conditions. It may be related because this is the same wall going down. It may not be. It's but it should be figured out to make sure no damage can occur, and catch it now before it causes any issues in the future. And that's about it. So again, that stuff will come out in the next day or so, and Friday. Today's Friday, so it'll be out by Monday at the latest. And then, if there's any questions, you can call, email, or text. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.